Hey, it's Dragon Izumi with Blackstone Labs, Universe 7 crew, and DragonPhysique.com. Today we're going to be talking about back pain, or lower back pain. So this goes out to people with back pain, which is pretty much everybody. There's a lot of causes for back pain and a lot of things you can do for it. Usually a lot of people associate back pain with sitting. Now, obviously sitting does a lot more compression onto the spine than if you were to be standing or laying down. So let's think about how long you sit in a day. So if you were to work in an office setting, it would be 8 hours, maybe? And then you got the car ride home, and of course the one in the morning to go to work. Then you come home and sit on the couch. So that's a lot of hours. Yeah, so then a lot of people now, I guess, are shifting over to standing desks, but standing also hurts your back. So everything, I guess, causes back pain. Pretty much anything that compresses, so gravity, if you're overweight, or let's see, are you a student or are you in the military? Are you carrying a backpack all the time? More weight? Huh. And then, let's see. Now, generally, for any pain, now this is what I picked up from like osteopathists and chiropractors and such, but it's kind of hard to explain, but when you have pain, or physical muscular pain, not like organ pain or emotional pain, usually it's not that's actually hurting. Let's take the wrist, for example. When your wrist is hurting, especially if you're like a b-boy or a gymnast or a calisthenic athlete or a bodybuilder lifting weights all the time, doing press movements like bench press and dumbbell press and shoulder press and not leg press, but press it's not the wrist that's actually hurting. It's anything around it that's what's causing the pain, if it makes sense. Like, I'm not a car guru, but let's talk about cars. Like, if your brake pads are worn out, like thin down to the metal, then you keep driving it, then eventually your rotors are gonna start screaming at you, metal to metal, right? So the pain is the rotor, but the cause is the brake pad. So when your wrist is hurting, back to the wrist, when your wrist is hurting, it's usually your forearm that's really tight. Your forearm does a lot of work, and believe it or not, it is part of the muscle that basically contracts a lot for anything that you use to grip or hold on to, especially if you're lifting weights or stabilizing yourself in a handstand. So if that gets tight, it starts to pull onto the wrist. That causes that pain. So back to back. Causes for back pain typically wouldn't be the back. I mean, sometimes, yeah, it could just be simply a tight erector spinae or spinae. You just gotta increase your flexibility or increase your muscular strength, core muscle. But usually it's not that, it's everything around it, like I said. So it could be glutes, your butt could be really stiff, either from sitting a lot or doing a lot of squats or squatting motions. If your butt, your gluteus maximus, is really tight, there's something underneath the glute called piriformis, or preformis? Anyways, when the preformis is tight, it starts to pull or pinch this thing called sciatic nerve. Sciatic nerve. I can't pronounce things. And when that nerve gets pulled on, it causes pain or tightness in your lower back. So for that solution, you can have a partner or a friend who dig their elbow into your glutes, to the side of their glutes. It'll hurt like but trust me, it'll help you loosen that lower back tightness a lot. Another cause, like I said, from the surrounding, it could be your feet. Actually, and the feet is really far away from the back, believe it or not. It actually causes, a lot of pain to your back because of from Eastern Asian like acupuncture people will say like it's a pressure point and such. But especially if you have flat foot like me, unfortunately, 30% of the world at least have flat feet, which means that you don't have an arch in your feet. So this part is touching the ground and it gets really tight. And when that gets tight, it starts pinching onto your nerves everywhere upstairs. But if you have a lot of pressure under your foot, that could also cause lower back pain. So you could get a foot massage if you want. If you want to go cheaper, you can just buy like a little foot massage board, or you can step on a golf ball and just roll around it. Or you could take a foam roller if you have one and just roll your feet around it. So that might help. Back to what I was saying earlier, it could directly be your erector spinae or your lower back muscle. If you don't have enough flexibility, if you've been neglecting it, if you don't strengthen it, that could cause pain, because your center of your body, the core, your abs and your lower back, is pretty much working 24/7 just to stabilize you and hold you up so that you don't go out limp. And on top of that, you put all that pressure from sitting and standing and walking and lifting and doing backflips and whatever. When you don't have enough flexibility and enough strength to accommodate for all that other extra pressure, obviously it's going to cause more pain. So make that ab stronger, and also do a lot of hyperextensions to make the lower back stronger. I mean, you could do back exercises like good mornings and deadlifts, which has a higher risk of injuring yourself on the process of trying to avoid injuries. So if you're trying to be careful, just do body weight hyperextensions. Also, how you're sleeping. Your bed could be a cause of your back pain. If your bed is too soft, it's actually going to be a lot more pressure onto that spine sinking in. I would suggest you get a more firmer mattress. And actually, if you're laying on your back, I would suggest you to lay on your side instead and have a pillow between your knees. That'll actually take the pressure off of your back when you're sleeping. So try that, it might help. Now you can also supplement yourself to fight back pain or any kind of joint pain. Usually if there's inflammation, this goes back to directly on the muscle. That tightness usually caused from inflammation. So take any anti-inflammatory like ibuprofen, or take magnesium. You know, they sell these at like Walmart or Walgreens or CVS or whatever drugstore you go to. Joint pills like glucosamine chondroitin with MSM. You can also get that like the Equate version, the cheap version at Walmart if you want. Blackstone Labs, we have something called orthobolic, which is using an ingredient called UC2, which is basically chicken cartilage. And what it does is it basically helps your body's natural process of repairing cartilage. Technically, cartilage is not repairable, but the body does its best to repair it. And basically this helps with that process. And over time, you know, it'll be a difference when you do it for a long time. So this is orthobolic with Blackstone Labs, blackstonelabs.com. You can always use my discount code, which is my full Instagram name, Dragon Izumi, to get 20% off on the website. I mean, a lot of people that I have recommended this to have said that they have felt so much better since using this, and they've all been on glucosamine chondroitin, which wasn't enough for them. So I recommend this. Now, hopefully the cause of your pain isn't something really major like a herniated disc, a bulging disc, or what I had back in high school when I was pole vaulting and wrestling was a lumbar vertebrae stress fracture in the L vertebrates, anywhere between the L1 and L5 vertebrates. I chipped like 3 of mine. You would know if you have that sort of, because you would have not just pain, but literally like numbness shooting down your leg. If that's the case, you can't really do home remedies. You need to go to a doctor as soon as possible, get an MRI, X-ray scan, all that shit, and have it properly treated. Lastly, there are, like I said, tools that you can use to treat yourself at home cheaply. We mentioned the foam rolling. I recommend a lot of people to do Epsom salt bath. It actually does really work. The Epsom salt has magnesium inside it. Instead of ingesting the magnesium, taking it into your skin, your pores, directly into your muscles, it helps the recovery. And back to earlier with the sitting and standing compression on the spine. One thing you can do is go to a chiropractor and have him adjust it or decompress it back out. If you can't afford to go to a chiropractor, well, there's actually affordable chiropractors now. Even if you don't have insurance, I go to a place called The Joint, which is a franchise. It's pretty much, I think it's nationwide. When I used to live back in St. Louis, it was all over the place, and I live in Atlanta now, and it's still all over the place. So it's like $50 a month for like 4 sessions a month. It might have changed. It might have been like 55 now. I'm not sure, but if you still can't afford to go to a chiropractor anyways, you can also take a pull-up bar and hang on it and literally drop dead weight, and you'll feel that decompression or the pulling on your lower back. If you still don't feel it, drop that weight again, but sort of imagine yourself sitting into an invisible chair. So you're gonna try to press your butt or your tailbone down into the invisible chair while hanging. Your feet should not be touching the ground. It should be off in the air. If you still don't feel it, when you're hanging, have somebody, your friend, partner, whatever, take your waist and pull it down. And that should help with that. Of course, do a lot of stretching, becoming flexible, no matter who you are, no matter how old you are. It only takes like 5-10 minutes every day. You don't even need to do like a whole 30-minute yoga session. Just 5 minutes maybe every day. And little by little, step by step, it's gonna help you gain that flexibility, and you're gonna feel much different. A lot of doctors will try to prescribe you medicine because that's all they know how to do is prescribe medicine. That's all they've been taught to do. They haven't really been taught, unless they're a specialist, really been taught to approach physical pain any other way. But listen, don't try to jump into just visiting a doctor right away for certain pains that you can probably manage yourself. If you are willing to put in a little bit of your time and a little bit of your effort, it's so much cheaper and so much more healthier to approach certain pains like back pain that we talked about today. So I hope that helps. If you still have issues that maybe I didn't talk about regarding lower back pain, feel free to message me. Instagram Dragon Izumi, or email dragonizumi@gmail.com, or you can visit my website and contact me there via www.dragonphysique.com. And if you like this video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button down there, and also click on that bell mark so that you get notifications whenever I upload new videos. And we meet next time. See ya!